As always, take a message, text someone, call someone, or take a message and put it around a pigeon. Send it to someone and tell them that you appreciate them. Because where we are in life, we did not get here by ourselves. Welcome to the M1 File. My name is Dr. Ivory L. Taylor. This morning, we want to try to wrestle with something, okay? This is my point of view. And if you do your research, you may come to the same conclusion. When we look at the Wall Street Journal view of why we're having problems in what I call poor areas, okay? Now, hold up now. We do have problems in areas that are not poor now. But when we look at the news, it kind of highlight areas where people are not making a lot of money, areas that where people who are left to defend for themselves, are left where people just down in life. It's not always by themselves. Now, sure, I heard it. I'm assuming I'm going to prejudge you that you heard it too. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you can make it. Yeah. So we're assuming that we all have bootstraps. We all have boots. We all able to pull ourselves up. I understand that. I understand. I do. I want to talk about something from a medical view and an economic view, okay, of the problem. I believe, Taylor believes that we as a society really don't want to improve our poor areas. We don't want to, what I call, uplift them. We say that, but I really don't think we do. And the reason why I say this right here, if we are sincere in escalating these areas or improving these areas, we would change the way that we're doing it. For the last, I'm 66, so I'm gonna say for the last 50 years, we've been doing it the same way, the same way, the same way, the same way, but we're still looking for an outcome that is different. Like, for example, there's a word called inflammation. In the medical field, there's two types of inflammation. There's one like a normant. It comes and goes back. Like, for example, you can stump your toe and it's temporary pain. And you kind of rub it a little bit, put some ice on it, put some alcohol on it. I'll put something on the outside and you say it's gonna be all right. But also there's another type of inflammation that where you can hurt something, and if you don't do some type of rehabilitation, it stays forever. It's a life thing. Sometimes it happens in our hip, sometimes our neck, sometimes our back, sometimes our knee or our ankles, where those parts come together, and you know it's there. You know it's there. But you're saying, I don't have time to go through rehabilitation. I don't have time to fix it now. So you may put a salve on it or some type of medication. You may even take a pain pill and you move on. But in the medical field, we found out that the best way to treat inflammation is through some type of steroid. In other words, you go from the inside healing to the outside instead of the outside to the inside. Like, for example, most of the time when a person is sick, or some type of illness, in the medical field, what we do, we will clean them up first. Give them a good bath, clean them up, clean the wound, all this good stuff here. We will even clean the environment up. Then we begin to start treating the wound. If a person goes in surgery, they clean up everything, then they start operating. True, seriously. So let's take this metaphor and take it to our poor areas of life. When we go to St. Louis, New Jersey, West Virginia, I think it was Freeport, Louisiana. I won't even say Clarksdale, Mississippi, because that's right outside of Memphis, and some other places. where there is poorness, and however we're going to define that word, it's all torn down. It's raggedy looking, low standards, and on and on and on. But a lot of times, the people who live in these areas, they don't own these buildings. They don't own the houses. Most of the time, these people in areas, they are leasing or renting the properties. So someone owns those properties, whether it's an apartment complex, high-rise, duplex, or whatever it is. A lot of times, it's not owned by the people who live in there. So if we really wanted to tackle poverty or tackle areas that have a lot of problems, why can't we clean them up? Tear them down. Have a huge remodeling. Even when we come to public housing may, on the front side, look like it's coming from the government. Yeah, it does, but that's not true though, because behind that government RFP, there's something called a bond, and that bond is backed by investors. And these investors, they invest, and then what happens is the government would come and set a bond up, and these investors invest. Then they invest in those high rises that we call projects or housing development, whatever word you want to put there. So a lot of times their money is guaranteed back. So in other words, when these buildings are torn up or they zone unlivable, the investor really don't care because they got their money. Then a lot of times they can write it off as a depreciation on taxes. So from an outsider looking in, it doesn't bother me because what I am an investor. But the information is with the people who are living there. They have no control. So they see slumming. The slumming becomes everyday life to them and begin to be a part of their everyday living. It's in their spirit. Then we on the outside say what? Pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Make something out yourself. But why we never say to the person who is an investor, hey, let's tear these buildings down. Let's build some new buildings. Let's remodel these buildings. The same street cleaner that goes to the wealthy neighborhood is the same street cleaner that goes to the poor neighborhood. Why? Because city government, a city, whoever, the mayor or your city commissioner or council, one of their responsibility is city properties, and the streets belongs to them. So it's the same crew that comes in the wealthy neighborhood and pick up trash. It's the same crew that goes in the poor neighborhood and pick up trash. So if I really wanted to fix poverty or these contaminated neighborhoods, I can do it. Why? Because I have the means. Like, for example, in my neighborhood, the guy was running for mayor. And where I live, the city mayor is over police protection, they over fire, and they over trash pickup. Those are three things they over besides the library and so forth and so on. And I asked the guy, I said, these are my concerns. It's that in my neighborhood, I want police presence. Every now and then, I want the police car to drive through the neighborhood. Just drive through the neighborhood. Well, I'm all right with that. Also, I want the fire station that's near where I live to always be up to standards, up to code. Okay? Because when I buy what we call home insurance, some of the questions they ask me, where's the closest fire station? And they ask me, where's the closest fire hydrant? And then they ask me, where's the closest school? Those are three things they ask me when I apply for home insurance. where's the closest fire station, and where's the closest fire hydrant, and in the school. Now I've heard they're gonna start asking another question: where's the closest hospital? In other words, from where you live, how far is the hospital from you? And those things determine how much I'm gonna pay for home insurance. And I said, wow. So in other words, if I live in a poor neighborhood where there is no fire station or fire hydrant, there's no police presence, that means that my home insurance, even if it's a rental insurance, I'm paying more. And we may have the same job, but more is coming out of my paycheck. City government can fix that if they really wanted to. Housing in our areas, they can fix that. Our streets being clean, they can fix that. In my neighborhood, because I asked the question, when the guy come around, I'm saying guys because that's all I've seen, and pick up the trash, would you believe they also rake up the remains? They do. Because that's one of the questions I asked. I said, if you want me to vote for you, when they pick up the garbage on the side of the road, can they rake it up the remains? But in the poor neighborhood, the same trash people or same garbage people, whatever the word is, they're the same people. So they come in my neighborhoods, which I demanded, this other neighborhood, they pick up the trash and trash be scattered all over the place. City government controls that. Now, information. It's a pain that is there. If it's not treated right, it's gonna linger and linger and linger. And once it lingers, it goes to the whole body. The whole body. It may have started in my toe because I stumped my toe. And I said, oh, that's temporary. And I put some ice on it and I kind of tapped a little bit. And I go on with my life. I didn't do any maintenance with it. Then it goes in my ankle. Then it's my knee. Then it affects the whole body. And now I live every day with pain. It becomes a norm. So in my neighborhood, if I have an inflammation or a type of ailment, and I've had it so long, it becomes a norm. So you on the outside who don't have this pain, and you see it, you say, why are they acting that way? I don't see myself acting that way. This is why I believe we as a society really don't want to heal or give true wellness in our poor areas because there's money being made. Like, for example, what happened in Memphis. I wasn't there. I wasn't in Freeport, what happened. I wasn't in St. Louis, what happened. So I only can go what was on the news or what was in print. And they were saying that they threw bricks and objects at the police cars. And I did see on television the glass being broken, the dents in the cars. Most of the time, okay, city government would give something called an RFP for maintenance or for repairs or for fixing things. The people in that area are not the ones who's going to fix those cars. Someone had the RFP. Now here in Memphis, Tennessee, they don't look like me, okay? So that means that they're going to fix those cars, 25 cars or wherever it was. They're going to replace those windows. That's money being made where? In the poor neighborhood. They threw rocks at the fire station and broke those windows out. Do you really think people on the outside who have glass companies really care about the people in that neighborhood? It's an opportunity for them to do what? Come in, fix those glass, fix those windows, and fix those cars. Money being made. Same thing in Freeport. They ambushed with the police, and the cars got torn up. If the RFP went out and they need a record service, or they need cars that does dents and all this type of stuff, they got the RFP and they made money. But the people who were in the area made no money, nothing at all. When we look at the med, people that comes from a poor area use the emergency facilities a little bit more than people who don't. Money being made. If I was a pharmaceutical company, I want you to come to the med. I do. Why? I'm making money. Making a lot of money. If I was Home Depot or Lowe's or some building supply, I don't want to see all that torn up apartments and houses in poor areas. Why? I can make money. When I look at West Virginia and where these coal miners, they're so hungry to get jobs, they're just saying, I'm going back into the cold climate. And many of them are having lung problems. As a pharmaceutical company, I got pom-poms up. Why? I'm making money. Do I really want to heal them? No, I don't. Come on now. If I was a research compounding company, I'm making money. Why? Because what happened, every 90 days or every year, a new medicine come out. And they come out from people who are inflamed or have information that is looked over that eventually is never healed. We can do a better job. This is just my view. It's just my view. Not only this right here. When we see homes are built in these areas, because a lot of time we push home ownership, and say the house costs $70,000, for example, and I bought a house for $70,000 in another area. We both paying $70,000. But in a year, your house is below value. My house go up in value. So that means that what? Your insurance gonna cost you more. It's still, your loan is still $70,000, but you're paying out more. So now, if you're ready now to sell your home, it's tough to sell it because what? It's undervalued. Where in my home, which is not in that area, if I sold my home, I make a profit. We can do something about that. We can. And it costs to do business in those areas. People come in and make a lot of money off of the poor. So if you are in an area, or if you live in some place that you really don't want to live, or if you live in an area you say, I am not going to leave. Don't let people just come in from the outside and tell you all of these things. If they do it, ask the question. Just say, we have information here, and we're inflamed with pain. What type of steroids do you all have that we can heal from within and go out? Not from the outside coming in. If the medical community, with all their wisdom, can understand that in order to heal the body, it must start on the inside and come out. That same metaphor can go to our neighborhoods where we heal the inside and then we grow out. And I believe that that will solve a lot of problems. That's just my view. But if we do that, someone would not be making money. So I see it as an economic problem. As always, I want to say thank you for your time, and I do appreciate you. Text someone, call someone, or take a message and wrap it around a pigeon. It will get there, and tell someone you appreciate them. My name is Dr. Ivory Taylor.
Hi, I'm Deidre Malone, the host of Dialogue with Deidre. You can find us on the M1 TV network on YouTube. Subscribe and follow us. You can also find us on Facebook at M1 TV Network, Twitter, M1 TV Network 2, and Instagram, M1 TV Network 2. please follow us so you can keep up to date with what's going on the M1 TV network with Dialogue with Deidre and Black Thought.